Yeah,
what
yeah,
day I am in the mission, what time it is. And then the heat is like, because you're doing stuff, it's going to be karmically related to what you're doing. So
yeah. Oh,
the heat is like you brought law enforcement to the area.
yeah, yeah. So you're attracting a lot
And
of
which
heat.
law
Okay.
enforcement, how long are they there? And then they disappear and your case gets a cold case, but it doesn't have your name on it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where that is going.
Nice.
Okay, so that is what I had. And then basically these are the core design pillars. Um I guess we can read it like this.
Nice.
So it's terminal first UX. That's what I'm going for. Free roam operations, simulation, not exploitation.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what you're talking about. It's basically a simulator.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, risk versus reward. We have like in-game escalations up to, essentially we're stopping at the FBI, but you know,
Yeah.
somebody can make it more. And then signals intelligence as gameplay. So the gameplay is getting signaled. If you wanted to go in shooting, like you're allowed to do that, but it's not the game. So,
Yeah.
and then you could get away. You could get away. Um, so the game loop, well, it's skipping a step. You kind of pick a spot. You kind of gather intel, passive feeds, SIGINT detection windows, human sources, and then you kind of plan. You assemble your tools, what you got,
Hmm.
and then you execute the mission. And then you have like, you know, things you
Hands
got to deal
on.
with.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so the SIGINT is gamified.
Cyber
So
warfare. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
So so some of the signals only exist during active windows. So it gives you another like incentive to get more money and better equipment so you can have a persistent listeners throughout the city
Yeah.
or the place. And then yeah, you just don't hack a signal, you observe, isolate it, and then exploit opportunities. So the gamified part is like, if you're listening to two conversations in the real world and within an hour they kind of pass a password,
Yeah.
um I'm not going to put in an hour of conversations in here,
Right.
right?
No, of course.
So as soon as
Automate
I
that.
break it, yeah. So the gamified part is like you break into the signal and the game knows like, okay, at 12:01 the intel packet is going to pass through, right?
Hmm.
So that's where the gamified part comes from.
Yeah.
As long as you had decoded this signal at that time, you got that intel, whatever it is. So that's sort of like where I had to like compromise, or where I think I have to compromise. And then you have tools, equipment, and philosophy. They're faction aware. So like the black market tools are like, what you can get in Oakland, California is not available on the black
Right.
market in Birmingham, Alabama.
Right. Right.
Um, and they are
Absolutely.
capability driven. So if you have enough money to purchase a password cracking server, but you don't know how to do it, you're gonna have to work on your skill regardless. Right. So that's the idea.
Okay.
And then the UI, yeah, we know the UI is gonna be a thing. Um, the tech stack, we wanted it open, so went with Python, and the data is gonna be simply JSON or SQLite.
Yeah.
Like a very minimal, like, because I like editing game files, and I just didn't want to like make it a high entry point to edit a game file. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and the and the multiplayer is optional. I'm thinking 2 players would be fun. More later, but yeah.
WebSocket. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it would be
so
cool to
you
go
can,
against somebody
yeah,
and like, how
into
do I hack their system? I got to use these things. Like,
yeah.
yeah, dude. Yeah,
'Cause when you get into your city, you have to like take over that city,
yeah.
and they have to take over their city too. But you don't know who's in whose city.
Oh.
And then you need to move across into other cities
Yeah,
carefully and tap into the intel in those cities.
yeah. It kind of
And then if they've already persisted you, then
it kind of reminds me of that Rick and Morty episode um where they're playing a video game, and it's supposed to be like the realest video game ever, and it's funny because it's it's real. So there's like a Space Invaders game, and it there's like barely any asteroids because it's really real. So the simulation is like yeah, exactly. But then they have a Street Fighter game that they play, and uh, they're actually randomly placed in the city, and they have to find the right street so
oh
that they
yeah,
can start
the
fighting.
tracks.
That's what it reminds me of, dude. This would be so sick.
It could be like that. I mean, yeah, it could be like that. Um, yeah, you're right. That might be where I subliminally got the idea from.
Oh no, I'm not saying you did. I'm not saying you did that. I'm just
No, no,
this
no.
just
It's
that
I
just
know.
reminds me of that. You know, like
Yeah. It's yeah. I know. Um, this is like the core. This is like the system architecture, player state, world state, persistence, interface layer. You have the HUD, mode views, dot, operational layer. This is the problem. So when I was like, okay, how can we break this down?
yeah,
It changes what the UI is going to look like already.
mm,
Because it's like, hey, we need a command input, right? For example. And before I made the UI without a command input.
yeah, huh?
So there's changes. Or I have a crew now, right? So I decided like, okay, we're gonna give the ability to have like a crew, and I spaced out this whole UI, and I was like, this will go there, but it's not the way to go about it. So I have a lot of like things to work out.
Hell yeah.
Um, so I worked out like a lot of them. So there's a planning system, mission system, execution engine. This is the one that's gonna like simulate the actual entry, and then we're putting in mini games. So this is also something I didn't include in the UI that I showed you because
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is an
I didn't
extra.
think about
Yeah.
it. Yeah,